Hello, everybody, and thank you for dropping by tonight. I'm Brian Nash from How We Got Here Genealogy, and this is my Black Friday um, Christmas gift ideas live stream. And I'm just looking for people when they come in, just if you have any ideas of what you uh, to share of a good idea for the genealogist on your gift list, just drop it in the chat. I apologize. I haven't streamed in a while, and I'm just getting things set up. I had some difficulty with my mic. I hope this is working and you can hear it. Um, so just 1 second here. I'm just checking a few things, testing a few things on my soundboard. I apologize. Yeah, just trying to get a few things here as we get into the stream. Like I said, my name is Brian Nash, and I just want to welcome you here all tonight to the stream. We're going to be talking about gift ideas for the genealogist in your family. So it is Black Friday now, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this tonight, just because there's some good deals going on, and I want to make sure you're all aware. And I will be returning to hopefully bi-weekly or weekly streams very soon. I'll be posting a survey in the coming days just to see what time works best for you, my subscribers. Got a lot of things planned for the new year. Already working on some video ideas. I know I've been sort of negligent in my videos over the last few months. I've been working, trying to get some ideas together and take a little bit of different approach to this whole YouTube thing. So I'm just checking here. And so tonight I'm streaming both on Facebook and on YouTube. So I want to welcome you, no matter which platform you're on. And I just want to thank you for dropping by. So let's get into some gift ideas. Like I said, it is Black Friday, so let's look into some of the things that are on sale at different places right now. So I'm going to first look at DNA kits. If you haven't done a DNA kit, or you have, but you want somebody to do one, now is a good time. Usually Black Friday, then again on Boxing Day in Canada are two days where you can get some good deals on them. So I'm going to look at a few different ones here. We're going to look at the the three that I've done, and I can talk about them each a little if there's any questions, specific questions in regards to them. And I'll be able to actually also sort of give you my perspective at all of what one might be the best for you or for the person that you're looking for to get. I'm gonna have to mute this. I apologize. Okay, there we go. Thank you. So, like I said, let's get back to it. We're gonna talk about DNA tests. So the first one I'm going to talk about the first one that I've done. I had done, and it's still by far, actually, I think the one that I've found most useful. Might not be the most useful to you, depending on the situation. Um, just 1 second here. I'm dealing with a whole different kind of setup here. I apologize. I do really want to just let you know just today it's going through a few little things here. So 1 minute. Well, that's not what I was hoping to do. So let's take that off. And there we go. So I'm getting this set up. I apologize. I dearly apologize. I had this all set up, and I had the mic issues, and then it messed me all up. I do appreciate your patience. So let's look at, like I said, the first one, which is the one I did, which is my heritage. Now I'm gonna kind of look at these from two perspectives. I'm going to look at it from the site itself, and then I'll also look at Amazon. Now, the reason I'm doing this is that you actually you get a different perspective, because on my heritage site doesn't have a specific Canadian site for my Canadian viewers, but you can get Canadian prices. Actually, no, sorry, it does recognize them in Canada. So let's see what we have here. So we have on their website, it's myheritage.com. You'll find it currently. Their normal price is $129, and you can get it for 52 Canadian. If you order 2 or more kits, you do get free shipping, which is nice. But you basically have 7 hours from now to get it. If I remember from past years, they do often go back on sale on Cyber Monday. So for $52, what do you get? You get the same as all of these kits are basically autos, autosomal DNA tests. Um, there is one that gives you more options, which I'll talk about. Um, but that's the standard one. It's the one that most people, if you're looking to get your ethnicity, um, this is the test it'll give you that information. Now, as a genealogist, where it is really useful of all these tests are useful when it comes to making your relative connections. And honestly, that's where I find the difference and where I would recommend one over the other, um, depending on what connections you're trying to make. I have found personally with my heritage, um, the, the part of my family that um, didn't immigrate to North America, I find that I have a lot more connections there. That being said, my family's half Irish. Well, I'm half Irish, half Scottish. Irish on my dad's side, Scottish on my mom's. When I go to relative connections, I find I have more Europeans on here than I do on, say, Ancestry. So I so those would be people that are related to they're a sibling. Their ancestor would most likely be a sibling of mine that came here, and and then there would be a connection through the parent, and that's where we have the shared DNA. So I do find I do get a lot of Scottish um, and Irish and British hits here. I also get a lot of connections with Australia and New Zealand. Um, since I'm for the parts of my family tree I'm needing to build, um, I am building past, and for most parts, their arrival here in Canada for most of my lines. Um, so this is one I find it's really valuable in that sense because I have a lot more connections. An example of really good connections. My wife, who did a DNA test, she's 1/4 Finnish. She has about 16,000 matches, I think, in total, and it might not even be that many, but more than 12,000 of them are from Finland. Um, we basically figured it out. If you take the average number of people actually doing a DNA test in the population, chances are she walked up to anybody in Finland, she'd be able to say, "Hi, cousin," and there'd be safe odds that she was right. So my heritage here on their site right now, it's $52. Uh, that if you order more than one from their site, you do get free shipping. Shipping can cost a little when you order from them. The other thing is their kit, when you ship it back to them, it's not prepaid. So that's one of the downfalls. Um, the ethnicity matches. The ethnicity, there's a bit of a downfall, and it's on where um, what I like about the actual matches for relatives and the connections that are there. It's kind of, I would expect this not to be the case here, but for instance, they have me down as one collective group of Scottish, Irish, and Welsh. They don't have it broken down. Um, they do have like some of the other um, sites I've used that can break it down right to the specific region in the United Kingdom and the British Isles there. And the so for $52, that's what you get from them. And like I said, I do like that site. I do like their website. I do like the connections you make, and that's what interests me. Um, so that's a really good one I find specifically. Um, my my heritage. If you have a lot of Northern European relatives, relations, it tends to be more popular from there. Um, the next one would be Ancestry. Ancestry is probably one of the more popular ones that everybody thinks of. Right now, on their site, you can get their DNA test for $69. Um, there does not in there is no shipping charges, so it doesn't matter if you order one, you order two. Um, you'll get just the basic DNA test. Um, it will give you your ethnicities, and you'll have it there, so you get matches. One really good thing, going back to My Heritage, is once you have a My Heritage account, you can actually, if you do tests on these other sites, you can. They do something that the other ones don't. Well, that Ancestry does not allow, is you to take the data from um, another source and actually upload it. So on my heritage on their site, I actually have all my tests uploaded. Actually, no, I don't think I uploaded my family tree DNA. I uploaded my ancestry, um, and it is they'll do the comparison and they'll do the matches. And yes, you might even get a few more matches on there, even though it's the same DNA, but you might wind up getting a few more. There's a few people because it's just slightly different when I actually compare the two results. Um, so it's $69. Is it worth it? Yeah, it's usually I believe it's around 129 as well normally. Ancestry, where I find it useful for the relative matches, for those cousins that um, are almost, I want to say, more closely related, or those relations that can be that would be here in North America. They have a larger, I think, contribution of people in North America, so a larger pool to match me to. Um, so I think that, and because they are very popular in North America, I think everybody's probably seen their ads come up on websites, even on TV. So if you're trying to still build that early part of your family tree, it is good to be able to make some of those connections, especially if you're looking for um, proof to of certain lines you can build back. They have a couple nice features. They have what's called through lines, where you can take and it'll match your relatives, and it'll actually try to, if you have family trees there, it will try to load them up and figure out where the match is. Um, and I find for the most part they're pretty good. On the ones I know for sure are it's made matches. So I really, yeah, I really like that. Um, $69, you can't really go too wrong. Um, as far as pricing goes on that one. Um, so so there it is. It's like I said, it's $69. So you can't go too wrong on that. Um, and you'll see it comes with a family history membership. I'm going to talk about this a little later, but some of the um, packages that the different sites have, um, as far as working on your um, website, working on your family tree, and what their website has to offer as resources. Um, so we're going to now look at, going to take a look at the third in the tests that I have done. Um, so this is um, so on this test here, this is family tree DNA. Right now, it's up to $70 off DNA testing services. And why they say that as opposed to a price is because um, Ancestry and MyHeritage and 23andMe, they're autosomal DNA tests. That's what they offer. Ancestry used to offer something a little more. Um, and I find Family Tree DNA, they actually do a Y-DNA and a mitochondrial DNA. I know I got the term wrong. I apologize. But it basically they can do a dig deep into your paternal line, which is your Y-DNA, or your maternal line. So how it works is to get the Y-DNA, if you're male, what it will do is it will go from you to your father, to your father's father. So basically, as I like to call it, basically the surname line would go through. Um, if you're a female and you want a Y-DNA because you're looking for something on that father side of the family that you're trying to get matches on, um, at that point, you'd have to have a brother, or even better yet, your father take the test. Um, the the mitoDNA is one that um, males have, but they don't transmit. Um, they do carry it, and it's passed on from their mothers. So I could take that test, and I would be able to. It's basically the same thing goes to my mother, my mother's mother, my mother's mother's mother, along the female line. This will give you the haplogroups. It can dig really deep down. So this is good if you're trying to match specific haplogroups. Um, but for most people that's starting out doing their family tree, you'll be good enough with um, the the base test on it, the autosomal on any of these. Um, so there's free shipping on their standards on orders of $79 or more within the US, and you can shop now. And it'll give you the different prices. So they have this, these are the two ones I was talking about, the paternal and maternal, and their family ancestry is $39. And you'll notice close to half the price of the other ones. Um, the good thing with this too, again, you can upload it into MyHeritage by downloading the figures. Um, I like it. I haven't really used it as extensively for making those family connections. Um, its interface isn't quite as nice. I haven't done the paternal or maternal. But those are good prices on them, and those are in US dollars. Um, but you're still looking at a good price. It's still one I would recommend if a person in your if you're just wanting to do the ethnicities. I'm From my own personal experience, I didn't get what I was expecting or what necessarily was showing on my other tests. Um, I had a few places that I can't pick, I can't trace where that goes. Um, it doesn't mean it's not correct, um, because the way all of these works, they basically match you to pools of people that have certain ancestry that they know, um, and they try to take these from populations that have been the people there have been there for a number of generations. Um, Really, you're going back maybe 8 generations to, I want to say, a fifth, sixth grandparent. Once it gets more than that, with just the normal autosomal, you're not gonna really have any luck in matching um, past that, even when you're looking at ethnicities. But as a Canadian, um, I do find that the other ones do match from what I know. I came from this one here, had a few things. Though my heritage had a couple, but they were kind of minor in the numbers. Um, and yeah, I personally just didn't like some of the interfaces for matching and making connections. But it's a good price. And if you're just looking to figure out what your ethnicity is and you're just wanting that for fun, I'd say do it. They also offer um, a wellness. These and Ancestry, I believe, offers my heritage offers a health one as well. Um, I don't really use them for that. Some of them are silly, fanciful, fun things like how are you more likely to um, taste saltiness, have preferences, and some of those it's just looking. Basically, they surveyed people in gene pool that matches yours, and they are putting their percentages based on that. Um, it's not going to necessarily tell you if you have a gene for a disease, but it might tell you that there's um, people that you match that have a high instance of um, heart disease or something else. Um, I I'd rather trust the doctors and they can actually check for the specific genes, but that's not it's kind of a fun thing if you want that. And if you go online, you'll see some people on some of these tests. You'll see um, the people there that they'll do those health tests. So okay, so now we're going to take a quick gander and see what we have. For the last one, we're going to look at, as far as DNA tests, we're going to look at 23andMe. This is not one I've done. It is a popular one. It is popular um, in North America, so I suspect you'll have some connections there. So what do they have right now? If I look at their site, and I want to mention that this is in US dollars again. So when I bring up their site, you'll see their health and ancestry service. So this is a health, again, traits, and then plus the DNA ancestry, which is really the part, like I said, I'm interested in. It's You get the both of them for $124. It's half price, and that's US dollars. They So it's at 50% off, and they'll give you some information about what it tells you about. Um, like I said, I haven't used it myself. I just didn't feel the need. It's kind of trendy. Like I said, I just haven't done it yet. So ancestry and traits. This is basically the autosomal one, and it will give you your ethnicity and health and ancestry. It's the one that's on there. It's a little more detailed. I think maybe I haven't tried it, but it's a little more detailed in the health than some of the other ones I've seen. Then you have the 23andMe Plus membership. Now it's $163, or if you buy the $124 kit, it's $39. So you can learn more about it, and it'll tell you here some information. Um, if you see the important test info, um, it's going to tell you about this. Um, it gives you a little bit of information there what it's doing for the health stuff. I haven't used it, so I don't know what their site looks like as far as matching cousins, how that works. Um, I haven't had a need, but oh, look, I got a special offer. I get the latest news from 23andMe News and special offers. So it's one that I will eventually try. Um, it is a it is one that I am planning on trying, um, but not right yet. Now, uh, um, I said I was going to look to at Amazon and take a look here and see what they have. Um, so I'm going to go to Amazon.ca, um, because I want to look at it from a Canadian perspective, because I am from Canada. Um, let's look to see what they have here. So I'm going to take a first look at my heritage. So currently they just have 5% off, so it's $134.95. Um, yeah, and you can always use honey as well to get your see if there's any details on sales. It's telling me that it's a 27% price drop over time. Um, so you can get it at Amazon. Not a better deal right now. Normally it is. I find just because you can get it usually if Amazon, you can find it where you have free shipping. Um, so would I get it at Amazon? Not this particular test. Um, but let's look at ancestry. So ancestry on Amazon, you can basically get the same deal, $69. Your Prime membership, no charge. So you're getting the same thing. I do like their little ad here. It does sort of tell you what things you get. Um, some of these are kind of interesting because they only some of the stuff is only in the ancestry account, like the Story Scout. Uh, so if you're getting stuff from Amazon, it's worthwhile. Um, now, the place, the other thing is again when you're ordering from there, it's coming usually a lot close, a lot closer. Um, So let's look. Family tree DNA. Now, they really give you a little more details, all the stuff you can do. It's $105. It's not on sale right now. So it's not a bad price. But again, it was, 39 US, and this isn't giving you any of your medical ones. Always worth checking. And this is where I had purchased mine originally when I did the family tree. When I purchased it, it was having a Mother's Day sale. It's another great time to buy DNA tests. So it will tell you sort of here what your best deal is. So that's another source is to look on Amazon. You have to sort of shop each individual one and find what is best for you. And with the Black Friday sales on now, you get some good deals. There'll be I think on sale again before Christmas, or right after Christmas. You'll have that time where they tend to be on a little better price. And so when we get there, we look at we can look at the other things that they might want besides DNA tests. One of the things I mentioned was for Ancestry and MyHeritage. They both also sell packages that include other useful tools, resources. I would recommend, before you sign up for one of those subscriptions, a couple things to know. Ancestry does give you a 14-day free trial, which is great, and they have one going on specifically in Canada and right now, I know. The other thing is with Ancestry, in most libraries, they have a partnership with. It was really good when COVID hit. Not the COVID part, but what they actually did was their library access. They basically opened it to anybody could have that access from home. You signed in through a library portal. Since things have sort of gotten back to normal, they've discontinued that. But I know the way it works in my library is if you're in the library and that's in the system and you're on their system, it's you do have access to it, and you have access to most of the tools for research, which are really good. You can't bring them into your family trees easily, but you can get them. You can download the images of them, so you can then upload that to your own family tree that you're working on. And that's a really, it's a good deal to do it from the library. I find a lot of their stuff you can find elsewhere. You just have to look. And the same with MyHeritage. I have a subscription package to MyHeritage, and I honestly don't probably use it as much as I need to, and because I'm used to looking other places where I have the sources. So that's what, you might, if you're looking for somebody, get them a subscription. Most of them come with yearly subscription. Amazon also, Ancestry also has a site they run called newspapers.com. Now that's probably worth getting if for some people. It depends, again, what point you're at in your research. And if you're just starting out in a family tree, it might be very useful because it might give you some connections. It's very easy. The interface is pretty easy to use. They have a number of newspapers from around the world. They source. They have full full editions daily there online. A lot of times, a lot of them they have at least the obituaries. But it's a small community newspapers when they have those online, and you can find they have the full editions that they can be real treasure troves, because you'll be able to find stories specific to your relatives possibly. If you're searching the right, you'll find a lot of times social gatherings they would have it in these papers. And I know from personal experience, even in my own lifetime, and I'm just half a century mark, but the small community newspaper where my grandmother's from in Cape Breton, they had a weekly newspaper. And even when my family was living in Ottawa, my dad was in the military, and we'd come home for the week, it was in the newspaper. We weren't coming home for any specific event. We were coming home for Christmas, or we were coming home for the summer. They would occasionally they would have something published in there. So you'll get that information. You'll get the details of weddings sometimes, almost a complete guest list. They'll run down who's there, especially in the smaller communities. Anything that happened in the community of any excitement, you'll find there. Crimes, hopefully your family weren't victims or perpetrating crimes, or but you'll find information there. Even some places will have complete crime reports, from the slightest disturbance to report. I've seen some papers that actually post the posting of who was in the drunk tank, as we would call it, or who got rounded up taken in the paddy wagon. So those there, that can be a really good thing. Newspapers.com, I would recommend if it's something, if you talk to your family members doing their family research and they don't have, it's definitely something that might be a surprise to them. It's probably, as far as research, it's not a bad place to actually invest for that. It's owned by Ancestry. It didn't used to be until recently. And right now, so if you go here, which is really good, you can get 7 days free, which is good. They'll tell you how many pages of newspaper they have to explore. You can even check out the location. So you might want to check if you know where your ancestors were from, maybe check them out and see if they have the papers for there before you go and invest. But it's definitely really good source, and it's great even if you're for the non genealogy buff, because there's a lot of history in newspapers. As they mentioned there, you can get baseball. Gorgeous George in wrestling. So it has an article there about him, and you can see all the times he was mentioned. You can see where. So 113 matches in Ontario, and you can go through the time frame there. There's 1,002 matches in total. So it's a good source. It's fairly indexed well, so that you don't have to read entire sections if you don't want to. It's really good if you're looking for specific events. It can help you place um, where when an ancestor might have moved into a community. Um, if all you're going by is the census, you know that it was between those two census dates, and you start looking and searching, you might be able to find a little more detail, at least when they start appearing, um, if they appeared in the local news. So it's something worth considering. Um, and yeah, I definitely, wouldn't be opposed if somebody in my family purchased me that for sure. Um, Now, the so aside from newspapers.com, which is a good it's a good potential gift. If you go to Amazon and you just go and you search, um, so if you go to Amazon and you search genealogy under books, you're going to find a lot of different books. Um, and again, depends what you're in what stage. The You'll see a lot of these notebooks, organizers and charts and stuff. My personal recommendation: look for them online. A lot of times you can find it as a free resource, pretty much the same thing that they um, are trying to sell you there. If you're using any one of the if you're using Ancestry or Family Tree or another online program to manage your family tree, a lot of those charts and stuff come with it. You might pay extra to get them especially printed out or something, but they generally come with it. Um, there's a few books here. Um, this is a great book if you've not worked with Ancestry.com. Ancestry.com is opposed to Ancestry DNA, the same company, but this is more of their actual family tree stuff. Uh, Again, a lot of these books are really things that you can find the resources online, but somebody's gone and put them together all in a nice little spot. Now, where I find it really, really good is if I'm looking for something specific. Um, for instance, because my family is Scottish, um, looking up Scottish genealogy, it will have a lot of resources. You might even be able to find um, lists of families from certain areas. Uh, you and again, you can do this with most regions. You can do it Germany, Switzerland, wherever you might be able to find a list of records, but there's something even better. Um, it's just I want to say just 1 second here. I'm looking for it because I have these books, a few of them um, in um, actually using Kindle because that's how I like to read my books. Um, this one's a really good book for Scottish relatives. I really like it. Um, helps you get started, and that's what a lot of these things really do. When you're looking at these books, you know, they're really good if you're delving into a new area because they'll list the resources. So something like this, unless you, as opposed to one of those actual lists or groupings that have been bound together, um, is really, really good because this will tell you a whole bunch of resources. Some, again, a lot of this you can find online, but um, you'll find it might take a lot longer to do research. Um, all the research yourself to get and figure out where these um, resources are. Um, yeah, this is the series I was going to recommend. Just one second. Particularly this one particular author, um, Chris Patton. He, if you have Scottish ancestry, he's the go-to guy as far as books to find this stuff. Um, he really does a good job, and he doesn't for Scottish, English, and Irish. You can find books by him. Um, I want to say I know Scottish and Irish for sure, but um, this one here is really good because you're working as a person. You're looking online because most of us don't have time or the money necessarily to go off to Scotland and start digging for records, but it gives you the sources there. One of the other things, while talking about going places, um, if you have that more extravagant family member, there's genealogy tourism. There's lots of different services. Ancestry actually has one, but you can also find a lot of independent ones. But again, if you're interested in saving money, which I am, because as I pointed out, I am Scottish. And so always interested in saving a buck or two, is look for those bargain trips online as far as ticket sales, but reach out to the genealogical societies of where your ancestors are from. Often you'll be able to arrange with them either through a volunteer, or they might know of a particular person that will help you for a small fee, maybe one of their members, to research your ancestors, to be able to take you to some of the places that they are looking from, if you happen to have specific locations. I know I've been actually very lucky in one of my ancestors. I've been able to get it down to an actual street address, been able to convert that into a modern street address and take and look at Google Maps and Google Earth and take an exact look as if I was there. But you can find people that will do that for you. Especially people that know the area, they'll be able to take you to the graveyards, be able to work with you if there's a records you're looking for, making those contacts in churches to get those specific records. Whereas a lot of the genealogy tourism type of stuff it's very broad based, from what I understand, general, because it's not usually just you on that tour. I would look, like I said, looking at trying to get in contact at the local level, and through the Genealogy Society, or local history societies, make contact with them before, and you might be able to definitely get a more personalized approach, be able to not waste your time going and seeing things that might not have a significance to you, but be able to focus on those things that are more significant. So it's near the end of the hour. I started a little bit late, but I just wanted to thank you all for bearing with me today. And so I usually end these things with a Q&A if there's anybody.
Let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I need to announce it's last call at the bar.
Oh.
So it's last call. It means it's Q&A time. So if you have any questions, just post them in the chat, and I will take a gander and see if I have them. And if you don't have any questions, then I guess it's time to bid farewell. So we'll give it a minute and see if there's any questions. I do want to thank you all for dropping by. I do appreciate having you here. And we'll catch up some other time. So just want to remind you to be safe out there when you're looking for your ancestors. And depending where you are, winter's upon us, and I know we had a few surprise snow here already. I'm not a big fan of that early snow. Just be safe when you're driving. All have a good Christmas season. Keep searching for your relatives and your ancestors, and hope to see you again in a couple weeks for another How We Got Here Genealogy Happy Hour.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.